Many Magic the Gathering players ask the question, is it worth it to buy an Innistrad Midnight Hunt Commander deck? Commander Precon decks have gone from a once-a-year product release to a product that releases with each new set, bringing a bounty of new card designs and reprints to the Commander format, and attempting, as ever, to be a product for players new and old alike. But does this increase in frequency come with a decrease in usefulness, a narrowing of necessity, a surplus of suspicion, or just an abundance of apathy on the part of the players? What do they cost? What do they contain? And just how good are they? Let's take a look. An Innistrad Midnight Hunt Commander deck contains the following: a 100-card playable right out of the box Commander deck, a life wheel, cardboard deck box, and 10 double-sided tokens, as well as the superfluous but fine inserts of strategy page, Commander proxy, and reference card. While Wizards of the Coast no longer publishes an MSRP, these products are available in big box stores, such as Target and Walmart, and those stores do display the MSRP, which is $39.95. Let's start with the big question. What category are these decks in? Are they on par with the high-quality, once-per-year style, or perhaps more like the introductory level that we saw last year in Zendikar, Commander Legends, and Kaldheim? No, wait, Kaldheim was last year, or it was this year? No, that doesn't sound right. It had to have been last year. Nonetheless, we had 2 Commander decks with Kaldheim, and here we have 2 decks. Is that an indication that these are essentially the same quality? Both products contain a playable out-of-the-box Commander deck consisting of 100 cards. Kaldheim's Commander decks had 8 brand new cards each, one of which was foil, whereas Innistrad Midnight Hunts have 15 new cards each, 2 of which are foil. That may not seem like too dramatic a difference, but the price difference is more or less double, as the Kaldheim Commander decks were $19.95 each, and Innistrad Midnight Hunt are double that at $39.95. Also, compared to the classic yearly Commander precons, such as the extremely popular 4-color Commander decks of 2016, these would contain 15 new cards, 4 of which were foil, and this was back when Wizards of the Coast displayed an MSRP, and so for, in this example, the Atraxa deck, that had an on-the-shelf price of $34.95. Why then were decks like Breed Lethality only $34.95, while these Innistrad decks are $39.95 despite essentially being the same thing? Well, the very real reason behind that price increase is simple. You're willing to pay it. Found out, didn't you? Are these new cards on the same level as the new cards from the once-yearly Commander precons, such as Breed Lethality? While Atraxa is indeed a splashy Commander, looking at those original designs shows some big hitters, like Deep Glow Skate, Ash Barrens, and Crystalline Crawler, but most of the others, from Migratory Route to Duelist's Heritage to Grip of Phyreses, never really resonated. While just a cursory list at the new cards designed for these Innistrad Commander decks have noteworthy inclusions such as Celebrate the Harvest, Celestial Judgment, Heronblade Elite, not to mention Drown in Dreams, Forex the Tomb Shell, and Curse of the Relentless. And of course an assortment of underwhelming cards that may one day turn out to be hidden gems. Nonetheless, I think that it is fair to say that these Innistrad Commander decks are much more on the same level as the main Commander decks of years past than the more introductory level of the Kaldheim Commander Legends and Zendikar decks. The mana bases are another noteworthy element of the Innistrad Midnight Hunt decks. It's amazing how much this actually shares with the 4-color Commander mana base, just in terms of value land cards. Choked Estuary, Pain of Ancestry, Myriad Landscape, Temple of Deceit, Sunken Hollow, Dimir Aqueduct, Darkwater Catacombs, look at these. Even great Commander classics like Bojuka Bog, Krosan Verge, and the Selesnya deck. These are mana bases that are a long way from Guild Gates. Even the Mana Rock packages are getting much better. Compare recent Commander decks that had stuff like Lockets in them. My goodness, what were they thinking? To here, where we have Double Diamonds, a Talisman of Dominance, and thankfully the continued auto borrow printings of Sol Ring and Arcane Signet. Remember when Arcane Signet was $15 each? Tolarian Community College remembers. If nothing else, I need to say that this trend towards better mana bases is very welcome. No, they still don't have fetch lands or even more sensible Battle Bond multiplayer lands, and yes, I still wouldn't mind allied pain lands and maybe even some shocks from time to time, but these mana bases are head and shoulders above what we were getting not too long ago. And especially as far as new players are concerned, that is a welcome new normal. What about the overall financial value of these decks? If you were to buy all 100 cards individually for each of these decks, for Coven Counters, you'd need to spend $99.76, and Undead Unleashed would cost you, wow, $143.90. Remember, of course, that these prices are as of the day of release, Friday the 24th of September, and over time, prices do tend to adjust. But nonetheless, this is obviously a huge amount of value. Though it is important to remember that as these have 100 cards each in them, that a lot of bulk cards that are only at 20, 30, even 40 cents each will still add up when you've got 100 of them. So let's cut out the bulk of the equation. Only look at cards valued at $1 and up. If we were to eliminate all bulk cards that aren't worth at least $1 from Coven Counters, it's still way up there. $89.43. That's more than double the MSRP. There's 31 out of 100 cards that are worth more than $1 each, with the two top ones being Bastion Protector at $9.01. Now that is a reprint, and Celebrate the Harvest at $6.15. Undead Unleashed would still have, and this blows my mind, $130.71, even after eliminating all cards not worth $1 each. That's more than triple the MSRP. We're looking at 38 out of 100 cards worth more than $1 each, with the two top cards both brand new, Drown in Dreams at $8.70, and Gorex the Tomb Shell at $7.50. As someone who has been reviewing Commander precons for over 8 years now, I really want to highlight a huge strength in these Midnight Hunt Commander decks. It is not in the fact that these Commander decks are worth so much more than their MSRP. In fact, we've seen that before, but if you go back into really old videos of mine, many of them had all that value wrapped up in just a few chase cards, maybe 3 to 4 brand new cards were usually where all that value was. Maybe there'd be 1 or 2 reprints of note. But look at this non-bulk list here. The value is incredibly spread out throughout the deck. There's tons of reprints worth $1 or more, and the top cards only cost, well, in Undead Unleashed, the most valuable card is $8. Huge contrast from when the one big card was True Name Nemesis or Fierce Guardianship, and that's where all $70 of value is coming from. In fact, this is such a win for everyone because guess what? If you want to pick up one of these cards, you can do so for $8 or less. People buying singles at their local game store don't need to feel like they have to find one of these for MSRP just to get that one card they want. Nothing here is outrageously overpriced, but everything here has value. That's the sweet spot you always want to hit. And those who do buy these at MSRP are getting great value, and yeah, you're able to find them at MSRP. Because while some places maybe are throwing on an extra $5 to the cost of Undead Unleashed, that's still a far cry from the upmarks of $70, $80, $90 per box that we've seen in the past. Honestly, every year for a while, it felt like there was at least one Commander deck out of all 5 of them, all 4 of them, whatever, that had this offensively high MSRP. I remember when they did the monocolored Planeswalker Commander decks and everyone wanted the Doretti one. It was just ridiculous. But by distributing value throughout so many of the cards in these decks, I feel it makes for a much healthier, much more organic sort of deck, discouraging markups, and yeah, giving us better overall collection of cards. I'd rather have 38 cards at $2 to $8 than just one chase card and 99 jank. I've always liked Commander precons, but I really think we've hit a refined and excellent design with these from Midnight Hunt. As far as gameplay is concerned, I really found Coven Counters to be the weaker of the two in games against regular Commander decks, even independent of price, and yes, I know that's the less valuable of the two, but in my own playtesting, I found that Undead Unleashed put up a better fight. You're still not necessarily going to win games against your friends who have been playing in the format with these, but the goal is to be able to sit down at the table, have a good time, build up a bit of a board, play something each turn, and I really got to do that with Undead Unleashed. Honestly, there was one game where I really gave the group a run for their money towards the end. As an entryway to Commander for players new to the format, it's hard to find a better deal than a fully playable, out-of-the-box Commander deck for $39.99. Even the spiciest of budget lists are going to struggle to put 100 singles together in a manner that is more effective than what we get here. But that isn't to say there are no alternatives, because there remains one way to get an equal or even better Commander deck for less than $39.99, and that is by buying a pre-constructed Commander deck from Wizards of the Coast. You heard me. When we look through the pricing of the now dozens of other pre-constructed decks that have come out prior, there is no reason to spend $39.99 or even $44.99 on one of these Commander decks right now. You can do so because you want it, and because one of these Innistrad Midnight Hunt decks is exactly what you specifically have been looking for. But if you're just looking to pick up a Commander Precon, you just need a Commander Precon. The older ones are where there are many deals to be had. Just as an example, looking here at Card Kingdom, yes, sponsor of this channel, but they've got the most recent set at an enormous markdown. So this is just the set that was brand new a month ago. And I'm not joking when I say check your local game store too, because this is becoming all too common of a phenomenon. Early adopters pay a premium in Commander Precons these days. Just wait until the next batch comes out in a few weeks and suddenly $39.99 becomes $29.99. Not to mention there's still the introductory Commander decks available for $14 or so, and some hidden gems in the library as well. Wow, look at that. Oh my goodness. There you go. You can get the deck I played on game nights for $24.99. cardkingdom.com/TCC. I mean, heck, given that we're getting more Commander decks in a matter of weeks when we hit Crimson Vow, and still more Commander decks when we return to Kamigawa, previews, are previews started for that yet? I think they're starting soon. Previews are probably starting really soon on those, but my point is, just wait. Maybe these $39.99 decks from Innistrad are going to be $29.99 real soon, or possibly even less. Or just go down to your local game store, cardkingdom.com/TCC, where you might be able to find deals on old Commander decks that you're more interested in than these. Just saying. Final conclusion. The Commander Precons of Innistrad Midnight Hunt remain one of the best ways for a player new to the Commander format to buy a deck and begin playing with friends right out of the box. The decks are also of interest to existing players as they come loaded with creative new card designs and a handful of nifty reprints. However, the nearly $40 price tag is quite high, and as Commander decks flood the market, no matter how good they may be, prices on recent Precons inevitably are going to drop, meaning that while I consider these decks to be a solid A, I feel it is more worth it to save your money and just buy any of the older Precons from the last year or more at a savings. Or wait until the next set or two and scoop up these at the inevitable deal that they get offered at. I hope very much this video has been of some help to you. Are you interested in revving up your Commander decks with some cool card combos? Check out my video here on a few under-the-radar ones that you may be really happy to add to your lists. And remember, right now, if you go to www.cardkingdom.com/TCC, you'll not only find a selection of my favorite products and accessories from over the years, but you can check out the long list of Commander decks that they have available for under $39.99.